Satuan Taxi Bermeter, metered taxi drivers in KL, as well as the Kuala Lumpur Taxi Drivers Association. So they came and they highlighted a lot of their grouses and concerns, and they stated that they used to enjoy at least 10 meetings a year with LPKP when it existed. So when LPKP was absorbed and you have SPAD managing them, hardly one meeting with Tan Sri Syed Alba. And this is a matter of concern because you will have thousands of cases affecting taxi drivers stacked up in court, and there's no end because SPAD does not have the legal right to actually be representing themselves in court. So there's a lot of issues that have not been resolved with the creation of SPAD and the dissolution of LPKP. So we sent a letter on the 15th of February to Tan Sri Syed Alba as the chairman of SPAD, and we requested a meeting between the taxi drivers, the Kuala Lumpur members of parliament from Pakatan Rakyat to discuss a few issues. The first, more consistent opportunity to meet with the chairman. Number two, to abolish the coupon system that's affecting metered taxi drivers and also affecting consumers, because you have consumers, KL dwellers actually paying a higher amount in certain cases. They even provided coupons to showcase this. And focus on implementing a metered system for all taxis in Kuala Lumpur. They stated that as responsible taxi drivers, they were willing to even print out the receipts for the use of passengers, meaning the passengers can rightly complain if it's not to their standards, or even that there's sort of arbitration that has taken place. I think that's fair, meaning we're looking at it into a fair win-win situation for both parties. To solve the pending cases in court, because SPAD's status is only as mere ex-officios. Dia tidak ada peranan secara legal dalam undang-undang untuk meneruskan atau menyelesaikan masalah di mahkamah berkenaan dengan kes-kes saman yang melibatkan pemandu taksi. And the issue of taxi licenses are being released and given to selected cronies individuals, and you have the proliferation of more than 35,000 taxi drivers in KL. This too many for our population, and even they are complaining there's just too many taxi drivers and it's not tenable. And the monopoly of executive vehicles that is impinging on the right of the metered taxi drivers. I think the system is so imbalanced that you have problems faced by metered taxi drivers because executive cars get better treatment or charges. But from FMT's news, it's highlighted that even the drivers of limousine taxis are facing their own challenges. So the system itself, there's just too many weaknesses that we have to address. And of course, the final issue, among others, is the third-party insurance. That is not fair to the drivers themselves. They have to bear the consequences in event of an accident. We finally got a call from SPAD today, and the representative fixed 7th of March at 10 AM, a meeting between us, KL MPs for Pakatan Rakyat, the taxi driver representatives, with Tan Sri Syed Alba, possibly at KL Central. We will make sure that we get the feedback of all MPs, but I think roughly we can agree to that time and date. And we also like to highlight to a lot of taxi drivers out there in Kuala Lumpur, please also join us, not in this meeting, but join us in this effort. You can frequent our petition online on my website, because it is them who's being affected, and we'd like to hear greater feedback. Perhaps this would be a first meeting in a series of other meetings to address their concerns. Dato Sri Nazri Aziz once stated that when he was the LPKP chairman, he was for a metered system for taxis in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia. That was years ago. I think that eventually this is a system we should adopt, and it'd be much easier for us to monitor the standards and of course quality of public transportation in regards to taxis. So far under the the loose coalition for metered taxi drivers, they represent 4 organisations, and there's one more from KL. The Melaka and Johor one are very active, so they even want to join us in this effort, and I'll probably invite reps to come on that day. It's just that we would like to, at least for the first meeting, to just narrow down to these demands first, because you can't solve 100% of the difficulties and challenges they face daily, but at least for these top 5 things to be addressed. That's why I think I wrote it down for the chairman to at least be prepared in answering and responding. We, of course, in Pakatan Rakyat, we are for permits to be given directly to the drivers instead of some Tan Sris and Datos that don't actually drive a taxi. So that is, of course, our position. However, to create another agency when we have 13 agencies managing public transportation, it's a bit complicated. I think SPAT would have to revert back to its ex-officio status and solve the fact that it doesn't have a legally binding status when it represents the government in all the suit cases against taxi drivers. So there's a problem. They can't technically come to court and settle the disputes. So that part they have to solve, because you're talking about thousands of saman yang tertunggak. But direct permits, yes. Bearing in mind, we have so many existing taxi drivers in Kuala Lumpur right now. So again, a comprehensive study in supply and demand must be made to ensure that the taxi drivers, or at least whoever decides to be a taxi driver, can earn a sustainable income.